All right, John, 3 questions on a What If Wednesday. What's happening?
All right. What if Nikki Haley pushes on with her candidacy?
Well, she's just wasting her own time and money. That's what's going to happen if she goes on with this. Now, she has every right to. This is America. You can't force somebody out of a presidential race, which is why I don't get why Donald Trump was all that worried about her last night. He had enough of Nikki. He was blasting her left and right.
I find in life you can't let people get away with bullshit, okay? You can't. You just can't do that. And when I watched her in the fancy dress that probably wasn't so fancy come up...
I mean, you just ignore her. There is no path for Nikki Haley. I said yesterday, if Trump wins by double digits, this thing is over. Because it's a moderate state. If she can't close the gap to within 5 points in a moderate state where independents can vote in the Republican primary, she's got no chance. And even if you like her, I mean, that's just analyzing the facts. She's got no chance. But then if you're Trump, just act like she doesn't exist. And that's effectively what he did last week after he won Iowa by 30 points. But then last night he was going off on Nikki. I mean, you heard it right there. This is a bunch of BS. Cheap dress. It's like, just keep forward and keep pushing ahead with this thing is over. I'm the great unifier. I'm going to turn this country around. Who cares about Nikki Haley at this point if you're Donald Trump? There's nothing to care about. Yeah, it's a nuisance. But it's like Patrick Mahomes being intimidated by... Who's his backup now? I was going to say Chad Henne, but it's not Chad Henne. Who the heck started Week 17 for us there?
Blaine Gabbert.
Thank you. It's like Mahomes being intimidated by Blaine Gabbert at training camp this summer. It's meaningless. You got the thing in the bag. Don't waste your time. And if she goes on, it's just, nothing's going to come out of it. That's the answer, John. What's next?
What if Jackson County's 3/8 sales tax question for the stadiums coming up on the April ballot is too wordy?
Well, then there is a great chance, not a great chance, but the likelihood increases that this thing will not pass in April. And if you haven't seen the wording on the ballot for extending the 3/8 sales tax for the Royals and the Chiefs, I mean, it is a mouthful. I've only got a few minutes left in the segment, or I'd read the whole forget it. Let me read it to you real fast.
Say Rosetta Stone is working on a program here for us.
Let me try to burn through this thing. All right, here's the question. Shall the County of Jackson repeal its countywide capital improvement sales tax of 3/8% authorized by Section 67.700 of the revised statutes of Missouri and impose as a park sales tax of 3/8% authorized by Section 644.032 of the revised statutes of Missouri for a period of 40 years to provide funding for park improvements consisting of 1, site preparation and clearance, developing, constructing, furnishing, improving, equipping, repairing, maintaining, and operating both Arrowhead Stadium and its surrounds, and a new baseball stadium and its surrounds to retain the Kansas City Chiefs in Jackson County, Missouri, and the Kansas City Royals in Kansas City, Jackson County, Missouri, pursuant to long-term leases. And 2, refinancing debt obligations previously incurred to finance or refinance improvements to the Harry S. Truman Sports Complex. That's the question that is going to be on the ballot. And that is so wordy that it may just turn people off and say, you know what, screw this. I don't even understand it. So be careful, Jackson County lawmakers, with how you word ballot initiatives. Because, that reads basically like what Joe Biden was trying to say yesterday, which was a total word salad.
We'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
Could you imagine him trying to read that ballot initiative, by the way? How long would that take? Holy cow. Oh, my goodness. So what do you got next for me on a What If Wednesday?
What if you're on a plane with a man who tried to open the exit door?
I would tackle the you-know-what out of him. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to do it. I don't know about you, but I think about, some of the heroes from September 11th and what they did to get that plane down in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And I bring this up because a California man has pleaded guilty in federal court trying to open the exit door of an American Airlines flight that was going to Washington, D.C. From California, Los Angeles. and it got diverted to Kansas City. It was almost 2 years ago. It was February 13th of 2022. And this guy, his name is Juan Remberto Rivas, 52 years old, pled guilty yesterday in U.S. District Court to one count of interfering with flight crew members and flight attendants. Apparently, he grabbed some plastic silverware, placed the plastic silverware in his shirt sleeve to appear to create a shank. He grabbed a small champagne bottle by the neck, attempted to break the bottle on the counter. He then attempted to open an exit door by lifting the handle. I mean, the best thing that could have happened to him is he opens the exit door and flies out with it. But if not, that's where you got to step to the plate. And it feels like we're getting more and more of these stories from airplanes. I don't know what the heck's going on these airlines. But as someone that flies a lot, it doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't help me feel a lot of ease going on my next flight, knowing that this stuff every week, you got one of these, clowns on these planes just going absolutely haywire.